Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Conquer, the competition series by IIFT. Today we have with us the GE Healthcare Think Aloud competition national runner-up, Anirjit Mitra, Varun Maheshwari, and Surabhi Bhuyan. So, hi guys, how are you doing?
Very well, very well. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
So, tell us about the competition. How was it structured?
Sure, this competition was a little bit different than the other ones because the first stage was uh, to be among the top 6 from each college. So the first competition was amongst our own batchmates, and the second level and the third level where was basically same, or I would like to say it was two layered rounds where we had the same deliverable, but the jury was different, and hence the presentation that we prepared for had different Q&A session preparation, and presentation skills were differently related to it. And the last one was the finale. That's it. So there was basically 3 rounds.
Okay.
Yes, and we were asked to prepare an omni-channel strategy for GE Healthcare that they can go ahead, especially when we are living in this pandemic in an hybrid mode, offline and online. So we had to create an omni-channel strategy to reach out to the hospitals.
Okay, great. So when you're making a presentation, what points do you think one should keep in mind?
I'll take this up and then you can add on it. Okay, so the first thing that before entering into any competition is to have a very good team. Your team should compensate for your weaknesses, and having a good team is definitely a big booster to your motivation level. So that is first thing. Second is to structure the problem statement in such a way that you are very much clear in your mind that you have to do this thing in this particular timeline, whatever timeline that they have given you. So having a proper structure of the problem statement is a must. And thirdly, reaching out to people, the stakeholders in the organizations, to the alums, or anyone that you know can contribute to your case. So I think doing these three things can be really helpful when you solve a case.
Right. So I think Varun has very nicely pointed out. I would just use technically how we used to do it, like first doing the research of the thing, digging deep into what the problem statement is, validate the data if there is any, and then we do is to do gap analysis. So finding the gaps, what other problems that could crop up, or what problems do we have, and then our solution, which would be like 1 or 2 layered solution. Probably it could be a bigger picture for all the problems, or maybe we could pick one problem and focus on that. We do not want to make a lot of solutions that would not be good or good fitting. And after that, I think it is important to show the financials and also the feasibility of a solution where many teams miss. So scalability, feasibility, and financials are also important to end the discussion of this is the usual flow of the PPTs that go from start to beginning. Yeah.
To make this concrete type of presentation, how do you research and what amount of primary or secondary research you guys do?
I'll take this up. Especially for this competition, I would say there was not much of a primary research needed because we were trying to build a omni-channel platform for GE Healthcare. So it was mostly a secondary one. Now, when you want to learn that where exactly to start your research, that begins with your breaking of the problem statement. I mean, the problem statement could have told you that we want a omni-channel, but that's not exactly the problem statement. You have to break it into 3 parts: the objective, why exactly the business needs it; second, what exactly is the task for you. So in this case, our task was to build a basic, like a wireframe, like a basic skeleton for the company, and finally identify what are the challenges. Once we break the task into these 3 format, after that we start our research one by one. Another important thing about starting the research is understanding that what should be a story flow. Because when you give the presentation, obviously it is going to be just for like what, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. You would want to tell all the things that you have done to the jury, but it's difficult to, highlight your actual work or rather impress them. For that, you need to have a story flow in it, that where it starts, what challenges we conquered, what research backed it up, and finally the applicability for it. So yeah, first break the problem statement into smaller parts and then start the research for each and everything separately, probably a different member for a different research.
So since you were talking about presenting to the jury members, so tell us about the jury. How does it work and what are they looking for when you answer to their questions?
Okay, so whenever you are presenting your solution, just try to step into the shoes of the other person, as in what they are seeking from your solution. And secondly, while presenting, you may feel intimidated by the other person's question and answers, and it gets a little bit heated at times. So you have to remain calm in such a moment, and yeah, give it your best shot.
True. I think,
yeah.
yeah, Surabhi, you can add on first.
Yeah, I would like to say that that's nothing to be scared about in that Q&A. The thing is, judges are just going to cross question you so that they understand that till what depth have you understood the problem statement that they are given, and whether they could derive the particular output that they are looking forward to. So it's not always that tough. So don't, if you ever get to that state, don't be that nervous about it. And yeah.
I just want to add one point here. Sometimes it happens, like it had happened many times with us while Q&A. The thing is, when the judges ask many questions to other teams and less questions to your teams, or less questions to other teams, many questions to your team, you get nervous, or you think like something bad is happening with you. I would just like to say, do not be intimidated by what is being questioned to others. It has no relation with you. So just focus on your presentation and your answers, and be to the point as much as possible. That helps.
Great insight. And what you guys think of forming a team? Because as a first year, or the people who will be looking at this video, what tips you can give to them?
Okay, I'll take this up. Cool. So I know that till now, whatever videos or whatever lectures you would have attended, the speaker would have told you that you need a diversified team. One should be the topper in marketing, probably the other one has work experience in pharmaceutical or whatever like this. But I personally feel that it's more about the energy that teammates bring to the table, because while working in a team, it gets essential and necessary that you push each other. If you don't like each other's quality of work, you should be able to tell that to each other. So instead of finding someone who is amazing in finance or amazing in marketing, you should find people who would be open to criticism. Find team who are able to work, and not just work, people who are a little bit wicked in the sense that they'll do anything and everything to get a fresh perspective onto the problem statement, do everything to be, because the questions or the previous problem statement are mostly always on a Uber level, that you have to build a marketing campaign, you have to build a solution, but you have to find a structure or a group of people who will be able to gain some insight that what could we do that would make us different from the others.
And you guys are in first year, so I think you should try forming teams with a lot of people. Try your hands on different combinations and choose the one that you think is a potential winner for the upcoming competition. And for that to happen, you should have a very high amount of trust between your team members. So even if one is not contributing, you should not feel that the other person is just freeloading or something. You should have that level of trust that yes, we can compensate for his absence this time, but it's okay, completely fine. So having that level of trust is of utmost importance, I feel.
That was some great answers. And you guys were talking about talking to alumni, right, in the secondary research when you're doing for the problem statement. So how exactly should the approach be? What are the alum that we need to contact, and how will it help in the understanding the problem statement better, and what is the value addition here?
The right. So I'm starting off by answering this question. So I think LinkedIn is the main channel through which you connect professionally with people. So definitely there is a polite way of connecting with people that we all have learned so far through our MBA journey. So we need to connect to alums of the company that floats the competition, because they would be the best to give you insights. But sometimes it happen they are maybe reluctant, or like they do not have enough time for you. So in that case, you could reach out to alums who have cracked competitions like this in the similar genre. You could reach out to those kind of alums who are just pass out and not so busy on their job. And I think you should have a very open mind and feel free to connect to alums who are not also alums, but to people who are from company but doing similar kind of projects. I think having a free mind, not sticking only to alums or only to MBA people, MBA grads, helps a lot, because they also have really great insights that could be helpful to you or might be.
Very,
Yes, sir.
very insightful answer. Any tips and tricks, like any secret mantra that you would like to share? How should one go ahead with the competitions?
I'll just say one thing here, that just don't stop. If you'll participate in 100 competitions, you'll clear in 10, or say even, and then win in 5 or 2. So you have to participate in as many competitions as you can, just to get that hang of it. And if you get that hang of it, then there is no stopping. So my tip would be this only, that participate in as many competitions as you can.
I'll give some other thing that I do. So get your hands, or find these previous winners PPT if you could, not of just your college, some other college as well. And don't look at the content that they were providing to the competition, because that will be different for you. Try to see what kind of story are they trying to build in that. All right, because the thing is, I know most of the competition, the first level is always that single slider one, where everybody has a lot of numbers and data and it looks nice and everybody throws it into that one slide, and you just don't know that what exactly went wrong with mine, that I didn't get selected. So in order to analyze that, get someone who has made one slider PPT that got selected, and try to connect the dots, that how these 20 points that they are on the slide makes sense to a person who's seeing it for the first time.
Right. So I just want to break a myth here. So many people thinks, or like a good PPT wins a good competition. So I just want to say, good research and good content beats everything. Any beautiful PPT can be beaten by good content and research.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for this interesting session and all those methodology and way to proceed in a competition.